Okay, selection is the heart of recruitment. It is where human resource determines who truly fits the job requirements and public service expectations. In government, selection must balance competence, fairness, and defensibility because decisions can be questioned through grievance, audits, or public scrutiny. That is why selection method must be systematic and evidence-based. So public sector hiring must also reduce bias, no, without structured tools. Hiring can be influenced by impression rather than competencies. So a strong selection process uses clear criteria and consistent scoring, ensuring that candidates are evaluated on what matters: skills, values, and role readiness. Today's topic focuses on practical assessment tools, tests, interviews, simulation, and structured scoring rubrics designed to evaluate competencies in a way that aligns with public sector merit principles and professional standards. I will now give the floor to our presenter to discuss selection methods and assessment tools for public sector hiring, including competency-based interviews, structured tests, and practical simulation. Please write your question in the Zoom chat and we will address them during the discussion segment after the presentation. Go ahead po, madam.
Good morning po. Good day, everyone. Today, I will be discussing the two important human resource management topic in public administration. First is the selection methods and assessment tools for public sector hiring. So, next topic will be the onboarding induction. Yan, nag-ano kasi siya. Naka-ano po kasi ito eh. Naka-automatic. Sorry po kung biglang lilipat. Onboarding induction and public service socialization. So this topic will be discussed in line with the Civil Service Commission Memorandum Circular number 24 series of 2016, also known as the Prime HRM framework. So for the objectives, we have the explain key concept related to the public sector selection and assessment, discuss the CSC approved selection methods and tools, define onboarding, induction, and public service socialization, and last is to highlight their importance under the Prime HRM framework. So for the objective of the presentation, this is to help us understand how government agencies select qualified employees, or what assessment tools are used to ensure fairness, and how onboarding and socialization help new employees become effective and ethical public servants. For the overview, public sector hiring refers to the process by which government institutions recruit and appoint individuals based on the principles of merit and fitness, ensuring equal opportunity and transparency. For the key points, we have governed by civil service laws and rules, anchored on meritocracy and accountability, and strengthened by Prime HRM. So, the public sector hiring is not simply to fill out any vacant position or vacant position. It is also regulated by process guided by the merit and fitness principle, meaning that only qualified and competent applicant should be appointed in government positions. For the selection method are the systematic procedure used to identify the most suitable candidate from a pool of applicants based on qualification, competencies, and job requirement. Number one is the merit-based and competency-based. Merit-based and competency-based selection refers to a hiring approach where applicants are evaluated based on their qualifications, competencies, skills, knowledge, and abilities relevant to the position rather than personal connections or political influence. This ensures that the most capable and fit individuals are appointed to public service position. Next is the objective and standardized. With this objective and standardized selection, it means that all applicants are assessed using a uniform criteria, tools, and procedure to minimize bias and subjectivity. Standardized assessment ensure fairness, transparency, and consistency in evaluating candidates across the government agencies. And last is aligned with the agency goals with under the Prime HRM. Alignment with the agency goals under Prime HRM means that the recruitment and selection process are designed to support the strategic objective, mandate, and performance target of the organization. Hiring decisions are made not only to fill vacancies, but to strengthen the agency's capacity to deliver efficient and effective public service. So for the common selection methods, we have the application and credential screening, written or eligibility examination. Third is the structured or panel interview. And fourth is the background and reference check. So for the application and credential interview, it is the initial stage selection where HR evaluates whether applicants meet the minimum qualification standard of the position. This includes verifying educational attainment or educational background, civil service eligibility, training, and relevant work experience. So in this process, we're gonna check po yung kanilang minimum qualification standard. If the qualification standard is bachelor's degree requirement or professional, sub-professional, or RA 1080 eligibility, their hours of work experience and required training on certification for this application and credential screen. Next is the written or, sorry po, eligibility examination. So, written and eligibility examinations are assessments used to measure an applicant knowledge, skills, and abilities relevant to the job. This exam helps determine whether the applicant possesses the technical and analytical competencies required for and public service roles. So there are any examples of and type of examination: the civil service eligibility examination, the agency administrative written tests or tools, and skills or competency-based examination. In our agency, we use the competency-based examination in the written and eligibility. Next is the structured or panel interviews. So for the structured and panel interviews, it involves asking the same set of predetermined questions to all applicants to ensure fairness and consistency. These interviews assess competencies, behavior, communication skills, and problem solving. So the key characteristic may be a standard interview question, a competency-based or behavioral interview questions, and it should be conducted by a panel to reduce bias. Next one is the background and reference check. So for the background and reference check, it is conducted, of course, to validate the accuracy of the information provided by the applicant to assess their character, integrity, and work behavior. This step is crucial in public service where trust and accountability is essential. So what to verify? Their employment history, their performance and work behavior, their characters and integrity, and whenever applicable, if there is a criminal or administrative record. So how can we do confirm that it is calling the previous supervisors for their job performance or verifying the authenticity of the diplomas and certificates or checking pending criminal or administrative cases. Next is the assessment tools. So assessment tools are instruments used to objectively measure an applicant's knowledge, skills, abilities, and behavioral competence. So there are different examples of assessment tool. Number one is the competency-based rating sheet, a tool used to systematically assess whether a candidate possesses the key competencies required for a specific job. Competencies includes knowledge, skills, ability, and behavior that are observable and measurable. So the purpose of this is to provide an objective or structured way to evaluate performance against clearly defined standards. We can use rated competency rating sheet, often scales from unsatisfactory to excellent or from 1 to 5 ganun. The rating is to help strengths and identify the strengths and gap. Next is the written and skills test. Assessment is designed to measure a candidate's knowledge and practical abilities relevant to job. Of course, this is to ensure that the candidate have technical proficiency, knowledge or skills set for the role. Any type or example of test is the written test and skills test. It can be a multiple choice, essay, or problem solving to evaluate this theoretical knowledge, and can also be practical exercises to demonstrate their ability to perform a specific task. Next is the psychological and aptitude test when applicable. It is the standardized assessment that measure cognitive abilities, personality traits, emotional intelligence, and other psychological attributes relevant to the performance. So this is to evaluate a candidate's mental capacity or capability and behavioral tendencies that may affect their job performance. It can be an aptitude test, measure logical reasoning, numerical and verbal skills, awareness and learning ability. Or it can also be a personality test, assess traits such as consciousness, extraversions, emotional stability, and openness. Actually, in TESDA Region 4A or Calabarzon, we are using this personality test. When an applicant is applying for the position, at the end of this, at the end of the behavioral, they are sending an personality test and we have to send it back to the HR or to the committee. So in summary of these tools, these are open combined to create holistic assessment frameworks, and together they ensure fair, objective, and comprehensive evaluation for the candidates. So importance of proper selection and assessment. Number one is to ensure fairness and transparency. Number two is to promote meritocracy in the government, improve employees' performance, and build public trust in the institution. When selection and assessment process or the selection and assessment is done properly, agencies can avoid favoritism and political influence, which strengthen public confidence in government services. So this is the end of my first topic regarding the selection and assessment. But, sir, this one will be the next. Ituloy ko na po ba, sir? Okay.
Okay, so selection tools must match the job's competency requirements. Let's say, for example, for frontline customer service role, an agency can use a role-play simulation where the candidate handles a difficult citizen complaint calmly and accurately, no, measuring communication, empathy, and policy knowledge. So, because competency-based interviews are widely used because they focus on behavior and evidence. So, a practical exam question is, tell us about a time you resolved a conflict in the workplace. Panelists score answer using a rubric, no, that measure clarity, responsibility, and outcome, reducing arbitrary impressions. Written exam can test technical knowledge, no, and policy understanding, as our presenter mentioned. For instance, a procurement-related role may include scenario question about bidding rules, documentation, and ethical decision-making. The key role is to ensure exams measure job-relevant knowledge, not trivia, no? Work sample tests are strong predictors of performance. For IT hiring, a practical test might involve troubleshooting a simple network issue or writing a short script. For records management, candidates can be asked to classify documents and propose retention action based on guidelines. Psychometric or personality assessment must be used carefully in government. If used, they should supplement, not replace. No, competency evaluation, it must be validated and applied consistency to avoid discrimination. Ano po? So structured scoring is essential also for fairness and defensibility. Every candidate should be scored using the same criteria with documented result. And this protects the agency during appeals and builds confidence among employees that selection are merit-based. Selection must also include integrity checks where loopholes such as verifying credentials, checking references, and confirming eligibility. So a realistic issue is fake certificates. Strong verification prevents long-term HR and legal problems. So in summary, Public sector selection method must be job relevant, standardized, and well documented po dapat. So when agencies use structured tools, interviews, tests, and simulation, and rubrics, they improve quality hires while protecting merit, fairness, and public trust.